That's just the way it is. Uh, and then the same people that are defending, Megan and defending this Sardi guy about, oh, he opened his mouth, now he's getting his guns taken away because he's a tard. There's another guy on there which on the first episode, which is, oh, he's going to walk out of L.A. and barter his coins with the, homeless people. And there's some stuff that I saw in his that, I kind of like giggled at and stuff. But a lot of people don't realize who the guy is. And, he's a guy that's been around for a long time. It'd be like, somebody taking, Les Stroud, but they don't know who Les Stroud is, and then sticking him on the show and him saying, yeah, my name's James Smith or something like that. And or let's say 15 years from now, Les Stroud comes on Nat Geo, nobody knows who he is, and turns around and does the thing, and everybody laughs at him because he's, saying some stuff. But what a lot of people didn't notice is when, practical preppers, the experts for Nat Geo, who happen to be people that were on the first run of the show, who happen to have a business now. It seems like when you follow the money trail, you get to really see why people are doing what they do. But I digress. Is that this guy is on there, and they're like, oh, well, you should get a gun, and bugging out to a suitable, defendable location should be your first priority. And the guy sits there, and if you watch him, he doesn't really say much. He just kind of like goes. He goes, he said something along the lines of, I never said I didn't, but I'll think about it. And he said it real straight-faced and calm. He didn't go, oh, why, thanks, and, look, get all excited about it. You kind of saw that in the first couple that lived out of the Connex Thunderdome, more or less, that they, whenever the experts said something, it's like you could see it's like or whenever they got told what the expert said, it's like they kind of got like this little, their head swelled a little bit in some spots. I noticed that with a couple of the other people too. Whenever the experts, some of them took the criticism good, and some of them, it's like when it was good, wasn't good. They, or was good, they got kind of like inflated a little bit, But nonetheless, I mean, I think it's a decent show. I mean, I think that if you're just getting into things and you want some inspiration on what to look, like for example, the Connex house people. I mean, that was pretty decent. There was a lot to go on about it though. I mean, we've got a discussion on the one on survival preparedness now about it, and it's describing what we saw, what Nat Geo could have done to make it a good show. I mean, there was a lot that they didn't go into. I mean, there's a guy who's creating his own methane, but all they show is a tank in the ground, and it's by the hog pen. It's like, what else about it? How does it work? How does he store it? How does he get it to where it's running a stove? Or is it just something that's non-tested on the user side of things, aka like Megan in her backpack? The power systems, water, it's like all the important, it's like, think about it, guys. It's like all the core basic items that we all want to have. It's like, oh, we got to have our power, we got to have our water, we got to have our food. It's like go into depth about some of that stuff, and not so much about how, here, let us run around with guns and wearing camo and try to make it like we're bad. I mean, honestly, it was they probably won't ever get anybody that actually lives like a real survivalist does, like some of my friends. They, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference until they actually started showing you exactly what they have at their house. I mean, we're all at different phases and different levels of it, and the show the show for Nat Geo shows that, but I don't know. I just it's like I'm kind of wanting to rant about some of the stuff, because it kind of annoys me a little bit. It's like you got Megan, who's in an apartment, but they say she can't store food, and it shows like she went just threw some stuff in a cupboard, and it's like, I know people, and I won't go into who, but I know they live in an apartment that's a little bit bigger than hers, and they've got probably 40 5-gallon buckets in their house, and under every little crevice they got, I mean, hell, number 10 cans and flats of canning jars are what holds up their king-size bed. It's that kind of stuff. It's like, if people want it, they'll do it. It doesn't matter where they're at. I mean, I look forward to seeing more of the shows. I mean, like I said, I mean, they will inspire some people to do stuff, but you have to take it for a grain of salt, and kind of like look at it as, is this entertainment? I mean, like I said, I don't think the show's doing the movement any favors. I don't think that some of the people that were chosen did themselves any favors or the movement any favors. The only thing I don't like is, like I said, it's like when you go on the boards, these people that, it's ridiculous. It's almost like there's, haters. There's there's the fan club, and then there's the, the people that are like, almost in a way makes it look like, oh, the next time they have a prep conference or a preparedness expo, or what do they call them these days, preppercons, are going to be, there's going to be 500 Desartes lined up going, well, I can be on TV too, and I can get my 5 minutes of fame. And a good friend of mine joked around about how, when we're talking about the OPSEC and keeping your mouth shut, is how, everybody that called himself a prepper would balk at the advice he was giving. And now it's like, it's funny that showing up and he's like, what, in 5 more years, prepper's not going to be the cool word anymore. It's going to be cool to be a survivalist again, because prepper's going to have is going to have the same negative undertone that the word survivalist had back in the 90s. But somebody will probably, figure out some other fancy, acronym or something for it. Maybe we'll, like I joked around on some boards and so forth, maybe in 5 years we'll all be called, PMIs instead of preppers, or instead of survivalists, preparedness-minded individuals. I mean, everybody likes renaming stuff like, good bags and inch bags and, get out of Dodge bags and whatever else they want to call it. I'm never coming home because I got to carry the kitchen sink on my back in a duffel bag because I read online I had to have this 5,000 item list with this overseas bag, and that's the perfect Bob. And we could probably take those first letters, and they'll probably come out. It's called my stupid bag, is what we'll call it. So. But guys, I mean, go turn around and watch the show. Watch it and form your own opinion. Like I said, it's like I'm kind of like on both sides. I see the good and the positive of it. I see the bad of it. I mean, that kind of sticks out more than anything. So watch it and use it as a lesson. Use what these people right now are going through. You got a girl who's on the show who totally regrets doing the show. And you have a guy now who's pretty much, the government stepped into his life because he ran his mouth and tried to be funny about something that's not funny, and it bit him in the ass. So, anyhow, that's my 2 cents. Love it, hate it, whatever. I don't care. My opinion. I have the means to post it up, and you can watch it or not. So, but I'm Delta 69 for Pop Productions. If you want to see some in-depth conversation that doesn't revolve listening to me, you can go to survivalpreparedness.com and